So hello, good day to you. It's me, Andy, and Talkin, really. And of course, the story in Oxford I did the other day has blown up. Basically, the whole thing has generated a lot of interest, and of course, it would do, because this is the New World Order agenda for control, and people, when you find out about what their real reasons are, people get up in arms about it, and I don't blame them, because why would you want to be restricted like this? Now, somebody did say that you do need to go and look at the original source information for this. So here we are at because obviously the article that I showed you was not the original Oxfordshire Council site. That was a different, that was assumptions made based upon this. So this is actually what they're planning to do. Now, the issue is that this may be what they're planning to do, but the danger is that it will morph into the agenda that we don't want, and become more permanent. Now, obviously, being a trial, there is a time limit on this, and as people have said, the time limit can be extended. As we've seen with all of these things, with the lockdowns, for example, it was just for 3 weeks. Let's flatten the curve. Then, of course, it was nearly a year that people were restricted, and it still really hasn't gone away. So, this is about traffic filters to reduce traffic. Well, to be honest with you, Oxford doesn't really have much traffic anyway, because you cannot drive in Oxford at the moment. Now, they're obviously waiting for the works to be done for the railway station, so that will be done. And this was a scheme that was consulted on, apparently. And there was, allegedly, there was 5,700 people responded to the survey, and 485 emails were received. So what's the plan? The key changes to the scheme. So there will be a time limit on this, which wasn't mentioned in the original article. So this is going to be operating from 7 AM until 9 AM and from 3 PM till 6 PM Monday to Saturday. Residents based in a certain area immediately adjacent will now be included in the Oxford permit area. So they are eligible to day passes for up to 100 days per year, which is correct. That's what we said last time. And it depends on doesn't depend on the number of cars. That is the total number of days per household. Expanding the day passes to include 25 day passes per vehicle per year for residents outside the Oxford permit area. So that means that anybody who isn't in the areas can go into Oxford up to 25 times. Residents in the Oxford area, which are most affected by the scheme, will still receive the 100 days passes. Short-term exemptions have been mentioned here. So this is patients receiving frequent hospital treatment. Presumably the hospital is in one of the zones. And there would also be temporary, for those with temporary mobility problems. Now, there will be exemptions to this. And I did read it. I don't know if I can find it here, but there will be exemptions to this rule. So, traffic filters. They're located on key routes across Oxford to improve bus services and journey times, reduce walking and cycling accidents, and improve air quality. And it's an experimental regulation up till 2024. obviously levels of traffic across the city, making everything easier and less dangerous. But private cars, obviously this is referring to people with private cars, will not be allowed through without a permit. But all other vehicles, including buses, coaches, taxis, vans, mopeds, motorbikes and HGVs, will be allowed at all times. So basically, if you're a private person living in Oxford, in any one of the areas, you cannot drive your car for more than 100 times per year. So, and obviously those outside, just outside the area, will be allowed to do so as well. The filters will be monitored by ANPR, so you can't get away from it. And car drivers without a permit will need to use a different route during the hours of operation. So they obviously the traffic filters mentioned there. So this is who will be exempt. Obviously, buses, coaches, taxis, private hire, moped, motorbike, vans, HGV and special vehicles such as emergency vehicles. Now, free permits for those with blue badge, non-professional carers, healthcare workers, businesses within the permit area using the vehicle as a goods vehicle, residential properties within the area permit for 100 days per year, up to a maximum of 3 vehicles per household. Community transport vehicles, those in receipt of mobility related benefits, those in receipt of direct travel payments. These are permits that you'll have to apply for. Presumably, car permits will be available for residents and businesses, and obviously there will be several areas where you can get them from, and some further details there. So obviously the survey, nearly 6,000 people out of a total of 100,000, I believe. I'm not exactly sure how many people in total, but I did hear that. If you have a listen to this video, you will hear the lady objecting to this, what she calls an open prison.
Okay, I said, my name's Charlie. Thank you for letting me speak today. Can I just say welcome to Oxfordshire Open Prison, because this is what is being delivered. This is akin, I used to work for the prison service, so I know how open prisons work. This is akin to an open prison, these districts and these filters and gates and fines that are being forced onto the people of Oxfordshire without their democratic consent. 1,000 people answered an online survey. That's not even 1% of the population you are forcing this onto. This is a sham what's going on in here today. And what is this democracy when the people, and this is public question time, may I remind you, public question time, not just speeches. So I have a question. When the people asking questions are shut in a separate room, and they're not in here where you face them with accountability. Yeah, that's right. If you really speech, let me have my freedom of speech when I am Right, the last remnants that we have of democracy in this country, but you will listen to me because I represent the people of Oxfordshire where I work. I work in Oxfordshire, and there are lots of people out there that are angry that you have not consulted them. They haven't got a clue what's going on, and if you respected democracy, I speak to you, the chair here today, head of the council, if you in the room with you and face them and look at them in the eye, and you would allow them to speak. So my question is for the head of transport today, the fairly overhead transport. We mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Mr. Wright, in Chipping Norton, and you categorically stated it. I have it on my phone.
Oh, yeah.
I can play it. You categorically stated that there will not be 6 districts introduced.
Yeah.
You can switch the microphone up, but you can't plug me up. There will be 6 districts introduced, and you categorically stated that would not happen to me on a video. Would you like
Yes,
to see the
got it.
Right?
So there you go. That is the story, updated, and of course is being objected to, which is good because usually when there's pushback, they change their minds. And no doubt that this has become very much public knowledge now, because there is a plan, and it's not been, I've not got the exact details, but it was mentioned that Southampton, Bristol, and another town, I can't remember which one it was, Swindon I think, is also planning the same thing. So there will be restrictions. As we know, Bristol at the moment has a clean air zone whereby you cannot drive in the city with certain vehicles unless you pay for it, which obviously makes a mockery of it, because if you can still drive in the city, how is that going to clean air? It's not. All it's going to do is make money. Right, that's the story updated. Have a good day.